Hey everyone, it's Alex here on Da Nang Beach, and I just played some volleyball here for the first time in a long time. If you watched my last video, things are starting to open up. You're able to exercise outside. We are able to go to restaurants and all that good stuff. So that's great. Things are improving in Vietnam, but as a lot of you know, things are still not open in terms of coming to the country as a foreigner, getting into Vietnam. However, there is good news over in Thailand, where they have decided to remove the quarantine on arrival for fully vaccinated arrivals from certain countries. The full list of countries exempt from the quarantine has not been announced yet, but so far it looks like the US, the UK, China, Singapore and Germany are countries that do not have to quarantine upon arrival. You just have to be fully vaccinated. So this is great news if you're from one of those countries, and I think there's going to be another 9 countries announced that will be allowed to go from the 1st of November, and then hopefully in the future we'll see more and more nationalities added to that list. And even if you aren't from one of those countries, it's not the end of the world, because the Phuket Sandbox quarantine is only 7 days and you can actually freely roam around the island, and it's quite affordable. I've seen hotels as low as $150 to $200 for the entire 7 days, and there are some other costs like testing and required insurance, but even then I think you can do it under $700 for that 7-day quarantine with all the fees included. So this is really good news, and it's not the only good news for Southeast Asia. Cambodia has now reduced its quarantine to 7 days, or potentially 3 days if you can get the right documentation, which is really great because it is the country in Southeast Asia that doesn't require a bachelor's degree. If you have a bachelor's degree, you can earn more money, and Thailand does require a bachelor's degree to teach English, but that's great for those of you that are non-degree holders that want to start teaching English in Asia. Cambodia is now way more cheap to get into, and if you watched a previous video of mine, I was talking about the different countries we recommend for getting started teaching in. Cambodia is definitely one of those ones right now. We've helped a few people move there this year and get started teaching. Some of the work is still online, most of it in fact, but they are expecting schools to open soon. And likewise in Thailand, there's lots of plans for things to slowly but surely carry on opening up. So yeah, this is all great news. You see that guy there chopping down coconuts. Your funny little face, eh? So actually there was an announcement as of today that the list of countries is now 46 countries. So if you're arriving from any one of these 46 countries, you have to have been there I think 14 days. But in that case, you don't have to quarantine on arrival. So if you're planning to move abroad to a country in Asia, or even if you're planning to move abroad to say Vietnam, and you were flexible on that, if you didn't have a specific reason for it being Vietnam, Thailand is a really great alternative, and Cambodia as well. There's a lot of similarities between Southeast Asian countries, and I've spent quite a lot of time in both Thailand and Cambodia as well as here in Vietnam. And you'll see things like cost of living is quite comparable across these countries. Depends on if you're in a big city or a smaller town, that kind of thing. But my experience is that you can live very comfortably on less than $1,000 in any of these countries. And if you're interested in teaching English abroad with just a degree in any subject and a TEFL certification, you can get a job, making about $1,000 to $1,600 in Thailand, slightly less in Cambodia maybe, but again, Cambodia doesn't require a degree. If you've got more experience and more qualifications, obviously the salaries go up considerably. But even if you're just getting into teaching, these are countries that you can make a salary teaching English that you can live comfortably on and explore and experience these Southeast Asian countries. We've actually got a free downloadable guide on ninjateacher.com that you can get that compares the salary versus living costs in these countries. I'll leave a link to that below if you want to download that for free. And even if your ultimate goal is to end up in Vietnam, which I know a lot of you watching, that is your goal. We've been based here in Vietnam for a long time, and I've made lots of videos about Vietnam. And lots of people do want to get back to Vietnam or move here for the first time. But if you are wanting to start your teach abroad journey, you can actually start out in one of these countries and then easily head over to Vietnam, where the salaries are slightly higher typically, but also then you'd have some experience in these other countries, and you can come over to Vietnam when the borders reopen here. Last night, after starting to film this video, I went and got some pad thai because I was craving it after just talking about Thailand. Food in Thailand is amazing. I've had some incredible times in Thailand. I went to the full moon party there. I went to Songkran, which is the big water gun festival that lasts for several days. You're just running around with water guns with the entire city turned into like a water park basically. And they've got the islands, the big city. Bangkok is a huge city, and right now they're at 70% vaccinated, so that's really good, and things are really starting to open up from everything I've seen in Thailand, and they're really making plans to get more tourists into the country. So yeah, if you're wanting to get started teaching English abroad, I think Thailand is a pretty good option right now. Alternatively, Cambodia if you don't have a degree. And of course, we'll give you updates on when the borders open for Vietnam. If you are interested in getting started teaching in Thailand, we have some programs available for you. If you haven't yet done a teacher training course, a TEFL course, you can do that in Thailand or in Cambodia, so we've got options for both. Or if you've already taken a TEFL course, you can come do an in-person orientation with some extra practical teaching hours with local students, plus placement in a job, which is a nice option as kind of like in-person support and help with that job placement there. And these options in Cambodia and Thailand are our partner programs. If you sign up for one of them through Ninja Teacher though, you get it at the exact same cost that you would get it if you went directly to our partner. Plus you get the support of our team based in Vietnam, and you get access to our community of alumni and teachers here in Vietnam and the rest of Southeast Asia and all over the world, as well as job placement assistance in Vietnam if you have a bachelor's degree. So if you want to move to Vietnam in the future, you get the help of our team with that. And right now there's a discount on the Thailand TEFL course that we have going right now until the end of the month. So just about a week left of that if you want to sign up for a future course date, even if it's next year. If you put down your deposit this month, you can get access to that cheaper rates for the full TEFL course plus job placement. So you can click the link below to get more information about those, as well as the free guides if you want more information about salaries and living costs. And until the next video, where I'll talk to you more about life in Vietnam and teaching English abroad in Asia, stay tuned and I will speak to you then. Peace.